All right, Android developers, let's get our Android Mojo going here and see what's going on with location services. So here's your lab for Tuesday. At least that's part of your lab. That is actually a support lab, right? There is some technology background, right? I'm not going to cover it in class for reasons of time, but those of you who wish to learn more about Google Play services or about how the technology of GPS works, and about Fuse Location Provider. And one of the benefits of Fuse Location Provider is that once you understand this, you get it that the GPS chip is a radio receiver. It consumes a lot of power. So if you're creating a Android app using GPS, let's say a fitness app, you want to track how fast, or the user wants to track how fast they're running, the radio does not need to be receiving continuously. You might set it to sample the signal every 5 seconds or so, which would dramatically reduce the battery power. And if you desire to understand the technology of why that is, then read my labs here, right? Read my sort of backup labs. But if you say, just show me the code, theory doesn't really matter to me that much, then this is something you don't have to pay attention to. However, there's some other stuff we're going to be looking at as well on Monday, which does include, you might be wondering if you're using the Android emulator on your Mac or PC. Well, your laptop doesn't have a GPS chip, so how can you write apps which work with a movement, like the device is moving around between different GPS coordinates and so on? There are ways to simulate that, which I will demonstrate. You can go and read about it here as well. But in terms of our main lab, I'm going to kick out this notebook right here, Android Lab Location Services, and that is going to be our learning topic for Tuesday. So we're going to work on location services, and then we're going to build up in part 2 to integrating Google Maps and dropping pins on the map and so on. See how that works on top of location services. So in my lab, right, in my sort of enrichment labs, I have more theory discussion of what's going on with Fuse Location Provider. So if you desire, you can go and study that. Otherwise, we can just go and write the code, and we'll give some justification as we're writing our code on how Fuse Location Provider works in the main activity KT. So at the end of the lab, we have some discussion, some theory discussion as to how Fuse Location Provider is used inside main activity KT. So go and study that and ping me on Slack if you have questions about it. So again, to sort of summarize, because we're going to be covering a lot on Tuesday, if you want to do a little bit of pre-reading, first of all, this lab is available right here, so you can watch this video, which will show you what the lab will look like once it's running, right? Or just basically step you through what's going on over here in our emulator. You know what to do. Oops. My dog is running around. I hope the background noise isn't too much. My daughter just brought him back from a walk, so he's still kind of hyper for a couple of minutes till he calms down. All right, so let's clear that out. All right, so let's wait for it to get started. As always, pay attention to your status messages down on the bottom bar. Make sure if you're not getting some errors or something. I guess it should be up and going now. So now let's run it on the device.